guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I thought I would share a little bit of recovery tips and like what I do to stay motivated or committed to recovery. So if you see me, I'm filming this at nighttime, the same day that I filmed my other video because I gotta get my content, you know? So let's just get started. So the first thing that I do to kind of stay committed in recovery is to remember my goals and to remember what I'm actually recovering for, you know? Like, I'm recovering for myself, but I'm also recovering for my mom, my sisters, and my dad. So I'm recovering for myself, but there's so many other factors that lead into my recovery. And I wanted to say that recovery for me is not really an easy journey, and no one else is really easy, but it's been a really hard, long recovery journey, and it's just like me choosing recovery is probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. And I just wanted to say that it's possible because I'm literally doing it. I'm literally the prime example. So many people on Instagram are the prime example. Like, I can name so many people that I look up to literally to do recovery. So first of all, how do I stay committed? I said this a little bit in the beginning, but I stay committed by eating every single day. I stay committed by drinking my water. I stay committed by just staying committed, I guess. I'm not necessarily motivated, I'm just necessarily wanting recovery, you know? Like, I want the recovery, I want the food freedom, I want all of that. And I can't have that if I'm not committed to it, and if I'm not all in. So all in recovery for my eating disorder has really helped me, because 4 years ago I was in recovery, you know, like I wasn't doing it. I guess you could say I was in quasi recovery, if that's the term, I don't remember, but I wasn't in recovery. Like 3 months ago I was not, or 4 months ago I was not, and now it's already 3 months that I am in all-in recovery. So it's been really hard. I've had really bad ups and downs, but I'm still here and I'm still making it, and I'm still, getting through it. So I'm actually gonna go on Pinterest and look up some questions that people have asked for recovery. So what does food freedom for me look like? Food freedom for me looks like eating what I want when I want. That's like intuitive eating, you know? I've always wanted the goal of intuitive eating. Like, that's been my goal for like 7 years now, a long ass time. But I couldn't fully do that because I was still connected to the ED, and it was really hard to get rid of it, but it's still there. It has its moments, let me tell you. But I mean, I can definitely eat now freely, and I can definitely eat what I want when I want, but it also comes with many flaws, like bad body image, wanting to purge, wanting to exercise. I struggle with all that, and it's just like the only way I can get rid of it is if I eat something, and then if I do self-care afterwards. So next question is, how do I deal with bad body image? Now, I deal with bad body image maybe in not the best ways, but I definitely deal with them. Like, I used to hit my head a lot because I couldn't regulate what I was feeling. And I guess I'm still learning how to deal with bad body image, because that has a big factor to play in my eating. It's always gonna play a big factor, but I guess I'm still learning. So for newcomers, I would say the one biggest goal in recovery for you guys, I would say, would be to pick what your biggest attributes and goals are and who you look up to. And I would say to really focus on doing it. This is going to be controversial, but doing it for someone else before you can start doing it for yourself. I did it for the longest time for my mom and my dad and my sisters, and then I decided to do it for me, which I still have trouble with some days, you know, that I don't really want to do it for me. I'm not really, you know, wanting recovery. But I would say to just do it for someone else before you can do it for yourself. So I just wanted to say a little bit more, like, recovery is pretty freaking hard. It's definitely not. It's glamorized on the internet. And I think also glamorizing EDs on the internet as well. Like, it's everything about eating disorders is glamorized. And I think recovery is also glamorized as being this most perfect, happy thing on earth, like the best thing you could ever choose. But in reality, it's the hardest thing you could choose, and it's the hardest thing that anyone could choose. Like, it's the same thing for addicts, it's the same thing for anything else. Like, recovery is hard. It's not as hard as, it's probably, I'm not gonna say that actually, but it's just like having like an illness or something. It's a mental illness that's hard to get rid of, and it comes with so many other illnesses that are included. Like, for me, I have a bunch of other illnesses. The main ones were OCD and depression, and I'm sure other people have had all those, and I just happen to have BPD out of it, you know. Like, it's just like what you know, like, it's the worst. It's a terrible disease, and no one really knows how to treat it except for putting people in treatment. I was put into treatment 4 years ago because no one else knew what to do with me. I was a revolving door patient. I was hard, and I was stubborn, and no one knew what to do with me. And that just shows that that's what the statistic is, because most anorexic patients are like that. And it just shows that you can't just put people into treatment. Treatment's not going to help. You have to do it outside. Treatment is only to get you to be stable. And I don't think as many people realize that as they should. But yeah, I don't think a lot of people understand that, what the concept is behind an eating disorder and what they entail. Like, for instance, like, eating disorders are more than just eating, and it's more than just food, and more than just a body. It's a bunch of factors: trauma, PTSD, a bunch of other stuff. And it's just like, it all connects into food, because it's the only thing you can control, and it's the only thing that you can get your hand a hold on to, and it's the only thing that you can take away from what you eat, or it's the only thing that you can get a hold on to and you just keep eating. You know, like, it's more than just food. Food is seen as the enemy because so many people from diet culture and so many people from the world, like, are so possessed by this demon as diet culture. Like, almond moms and all that stuff, like, they're possessed by diet culture, and that they are known to be that way because of how they were raised. It's all on how someone is raised, you know? Like, people are raised by an almond mom. They're gonna have an eating disorder, whether or not they like it or not. You know, it's like, I don't know, like, I'm trying to do this all in one video because it's like in one take, because I don't want to, like, I want to share my real thoughts on recovery, because like I don't want everything to be like, and this is not scripted or anything, I just want it to be like my thoughts, you know, my real thinking, my real time thinking. And eventually this page is not going to be about recovery because I'll be recovered, or I'll continue talking about it, I don't know, but we'll see. But I think recovery is harder than what it seems, and I'm not saying that it's impossible. It's definitely possible, but it's just really hard, and that's why many people fail. That's why a lot of people don't want to consider even taking the first step in recovery, because they know that it's the hardest thing other than the eating disorder. And like, I think it needs to be unglamorized, and I think eating disorders need to be unglamorized. I don't like mukbangs. I don't like people eating in front of the camera. I used to watch that when I was deep in it, my ED, because it would, you know, tell me that I don't need to eat because someone else is eating. That's what my thoughts were, and it was just like, I was grossed out by them. And I think that's so glamorized now that you can have a mukbang, that you can eat out 1,000 crumble cookies. Like, that's an eating disorder right there, because you're just binging, and then most people purge it afterwards, and it's just not a good cycle. And I just think that EDs are so glamorized now, and they're so like put into real life that no one even knows about it. Like, no one sees it unless you have an eating disorder, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, if that makes sense. And I hate how people are so inclined. If you want to go on another rant, I could go on another rant about Ozempic, but that'll be for a different video if you want. But I have a lot of words for that one. But yeah, so yeah, those were my questions and answers for recovery, and this was my long video about what I think about recovery, my long ass rant. So hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.